back to Phenomena to quickly address the elephant in the room, so to speak. The reason we did not have an episode last week is because we had to make the impossible decision to put down our 17-year-old cat. Her name was Minu. She was an all-white Turkish Angora. She slept with me every single night. I had her since high school, and she's gotten me through a lot of transitional times in my life. So she ended up having a second stroke. She was able to recover from a first minor stroke she had, and then she ended up inevitably, unfortunately, having a second one that was just did not leave her with a quality of life that was sustainable. So that was last Sunday, and it was really, really difficult to do anything but grieve that week. So thank you so much for tuning back in, even though we did not have an episode last week. We posted on the YouTube community page, but I don't know if people even see that page. So we did also start a Discord that is tied to the Patreon page. So if you join the Patreon, even as a free member, free or paid, it doesn't matter, you get access to the Discord server that we created. Friend of the pod, Marex, was able to put it all together and help with, a lot of the automation bots or whatever that we need to run the server properly. But yeah, come hang. We have a lot of fun conversations, and we'll talk about, our theories and reactions to episodes and whatnot. So it should be fun. Also, we did end up getting a new kitten, made the decision to get a 7-month-old ragdoll. His name is Cappuccino. She's right here. She's actually on my lap. There she is. Hello. This is Chino. She's a 7-month-old. She's a cutie pie. She is, oh, hello. Do you want to stay here? You should stay here. Yeah, stay here. So as you can see, she has been helping me a lot with processing the grief of losing an elderly pet, and just the overall, guilt that comes with having to make that really impossible decision. And also just being able to realize that since her passing, she has been able to reincarnate, like the Pollock sisters, into another able body, I'm sure, and she can just start life anew, which makes me happy. And seeing new life through Chino has really helped me with that. Also, I have a little necklace that I ended up finding. I don't know if you can see that. It has a little white cat on it, and it looks just like Minu. So it's my little Minu necklace that I'm going to wear. But yeah. Just wanted to let you guys know why we were off last week, but we are back and ready to dive into the rabbit holes, but not fall all the way down, obviously. Also, before we get started, if anyone is feeling overwhelmed, as I'm sure it's really hard not to feel overwhelmed nowadays with everything going on, AOC posted a really, really great video on, I think it was Instagram Reels at first, and then it went on TikTok as well, but we'll link it in the description. She posted a really great video just kind of laying everything out in layman's terms and explaining a lot of things that I didn't really understand or know. And I think she ends it with giving a lot of people a lot of hope for what we can do to kind of organize and move forward. So highly, highly suggest taking a look at that if you are feeling like you need some sort of direction, or if you just want to, take a break, that's totally fine too, because we all deserve that as well. So in taking a break, hopefully we can now dive into something else that is equally as crazy, because it does have to do with the government, weirdly enough. This week's episode is about the Stargate project. And also super exciting, it was written by friend of the pod, John Suarez. So thank you so much, John, for writing this week's script. Hi, Gina. Writing this week's script, he actually had asked me if I knew anything about the Stargate project, and I was like, no, what is this? Help, write about it. And he was like, all right, sure, I will. So this is my first time reading about it as well, but let's find out what that is. All right, my lovely script. It's a little bit battered because, of course, Chino thought it was a toy. Classic. Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Ooh, this is sounding like the War of the Worlds, like Orwell or Wilson. Wait, War of the Worlds. You know what I'm talking about. The fake broadcast that people thought was real. Anyway, hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, I want to introduce you to an unusual chapter of Cold War history, a top secret program that sounds almost too bizarre to be real. It's called the Stargate Project, and it wasn't about launching rockets or exploring space. Oh yeah, I was wondering if because Stargate sounds celestial. So I guess it's not. Instead, it involved the idea of psychic spying. Ooh, yes, the US government actually funded research into whether people could gather intelligence using just their minds. Intrigued? Grab a seat and let's dive in, because if there's one thing the government loves, it's secrets, and Stargate has plenty of them. Ooh, okay, let's get into it. The lore. Let's begin by laying out what we know, or at least what's been claimed. For context, and for those who might need a refresher, the Cold War, thank you, Suarez, it's always helpful to have a little history background. The Cold War was more than just a political standoff. It was a battle of ideologies waged in every conceivable arena except open warfare. From 1945 to 1991, the capitalist United States and the communist Soviet Union stood locked in a global contest, each side vying for dominance. Ooh, yeah. I knew it was between the USSR, right? The Soviets and the US, and that it basically had to do with like espionage and spying and the imminent threat of nuclear weapons and like which one of them was going to develop it first and basically have the upper hand. I don't know. Some might say the Cold War is still happening and Russia has won. But that's neither here nor there. That's conspiracy in and of itself. While no direct military confrontation erupted between the superpowers, the fear that it could happen loomed large, driven by the ever-present threat of nuclear annihilation. Exactly. Yeah, Oppenheimer. Right? Didn't that happen during the Cold War? Or like he was definitely at the forefront of nuclear research. Women in STEM. Except for he's a man, but whatever. You know what? I'm sure a woman helped him a lot. Behind every great man is a woman. Let's be real. Women in STEM. The fear fueled a relentless arms race, pushing both nations to develop cutting-edge technology, advanced weaponry, and even unconventional means of gaining the upper hand. Yeah, well, I can't imagine that they were like, okay, let us be 100% like fair in this, yes? Because like the USSR is going to do whatever they're going to do, and then the United States is like, no, we're the first ones. And I don't know, I just feel like this is like a big measuring contest. By the 1970s, intelligence reports suggested that the Soviet Union was experimenting with a new and unsettling frontier: psychic warfare. Ooh. Whispers of Soviet-funded research into the paranormal raised alarms in Washington. Could the enemy be training operatives to spy without ever leaving a room? Could they see classified military installations from thousands of miles away? You know what this is giving? It's giving 11 from Stranger Things, and how she was like trained to like be in a room and like basically this psychically go into like another space or like mind read, or you know when she goes into like that void with like the water or whatever and it's all like black, but then she's able to like reach people or at least see like what's going on. I don't know. Yeah. I wonder if the people they trained were kids, because I swear I saw this like TikTok that was talking about how this girl was in a gifted kids program, and that she swears like these government people came in one time and they were like testing the kids on whether or not they like knew like what number they were holding up and stuff to like see if they were gifted in a way beyond just like, you know, one reading level above the rest of the kids. It's more like, okay, how can we use this? And that's giving 11. It's literally 11. You are just like Papa. Anyway, the US government wasn't willing to take that risk. If the Soviets were even considering harnessing the mind as a weapon, America needed to match or surpass them. Ooh, and so the Stargate project was born. At its core, Stargate project was an experiment in remote viewing. Ooh, that sounds fun. I feel like that's what they use drones for now instead. But okay, power of the mind. The concept was simple. Could a person, using only their thoughts, see and describe distant locations, objects, or events with accuracy? If so, it would revolutionize intelligence gathering. While hundreds of people were tested for psychic abilities throughout the program's history, only a select few, about 15 to 20, were considered skilled enough to become full-time operational viewers. And I wonder if any of them were kids. I swear 11 was in that bunch. Trained viewers were tasked with envisioning everything from hidden Soviet military bases to missing hostages, all from the confines of U.S. laboratories. Ooh, okay. All right. Some claimed startling successes, such as detailed descriptions of locations they'd never physically seen, later corroborated by traditional intelligence sources. Believers pointed to their findings as evidence that the mind held untapped capabilities. Yeah, I wonder, like, were they like, ooh, tell us what's behind door number 3? No, I'm kidding. They're like, oh, remote view into the, you know, I don't know, a USSR hostage base. What do you see? And then what, they did the work to corroborate that? Seems like just doubling up on the work. But I mean, if you are testing something like that and testing something for accuracy, you would have to do it multiple times to make sure it wasn't just a fluke or they got lucky. So, okay. Skeptics, meanwhile, dismiss the entire program as pseudoscience. Oh, I was wondering where the skeptics were. I was like, there's no way that they started funding this and people weren't like, that's where our tax dollars are going. Because government funded, does that mean tax dollars? Does it? I don't know. I feel like it does. Because where else do they get money besides the working class? Is that why we're in debt now? Nah, it's because we keep giving billionaires tax cuts. Fun. What a fun time to live in an oligarchy. Skeptics, meanwhile, dismiss the entire program as pseudoscience wrapped in government funding. It might sound like a plot straight out of a sci-fi novel, but for the people involved, this was serious research. Enough for the CIA and the Army to fund it for years. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, I feel like it's probably not kids because they would need to get sign off from their parents probably, unless, because in Stranger Things, I feel like that's literally what Stranger Things is about. I'm reading this and this sounds like exactly what Stranger Things is. I swear it is. I have to look this up, but it takes place in the 80s. It's right around that time. I feel like, I don't know, it's too many coincidences. All right, now that we got a good basis of the lore, let's get into the theories. Where there's a hush-hush government program, there's never a shortage of theories, of course, because they're never going to come out and say yes, this is what it was, this is what it's not. They're just going to let people speculate because it distracts them from what's really going on. Here are a few of the most intriguing and sometimes wild stories that emerged from the Stargate project. After all, theories are one thing, but the real or rumored anecdotes can really make you wonder what on earth or beyond it was going on. Ooh, aliens beyond it. Number 1, legitimate psychic work. Let's start with the idea that the Stargate project was legit and truly had some remote viewers who pulled off seemingly impossible feats. Calling all psychics, 1-800-PSYCHIC. Ooh, what's that? Anne, I forgot her last name, but she was in the Bane Changelings episode. Yes, she should have been a part of that because she is a psychic. One of the most famous claims is that a remote viewer named Pat Price somehow picked up details about a Soviet research facility in the Ural Mountains. Ural Mountains, a mountain range in western Russia. Ural Mountains, yes. Supposedly, Price described the layout of buildings, the presence of a large crane, and even hinted at underground levels, all from half a world away. Okay, he's just describing the layout. What? When the intelligence community later got a hold of satellite images, a few folks whispered that Price's mental sketches weren't too far off. Ooh, that reminds me of... has anyone seen that video of that autistic guy who's super, super smart? He is a crazy photographic memory. And he went up in a helicopter and saw the layout of buildings from the top. And then he was able to draw it with crazy accuracy. Dang, dude, that's wild. Because I wonder, was he able to just can they choose where to remote view from? Was he poof, I'm already here and this is what I'm seeing? Or how did that work? How did choosing where to go? Because at least with 11 in Stranger Things, I think she had to try to reach someone, right? And see where they were or reach them mentally. I don't know if she could ever actually go to a place. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the Discord channel. Whether this was a lucky guess or genuine psychic insight still baffles people to this day. Oh yeah, I'm sure the people that swear that it was psychic were wait a minute, this guy, I wonder if they got any pertinent information from that, knowing the outside of a layout of a building, is that helpful for the CIA to then know where to enter from? Or weren't they supposed to tell people where hostages were? I don't know. But either way, I could see people being whoa, what? And then probably I feel going down a rabbit hole of that, of whether or not people have psychic abilities. I feel we all, after seeing the movie Matilda, we all were staring really hard at something to try to move it with our minds because we thought we could if we just tried really hard. Oh, Matilda's such a good movie. Another story floating around claims that a remote viewer helped pinpoint the location of a downed Soviet bomber. The official line was always hush hush, but rumor has it that the viewer scribbled a coastline map that oddly matched the crash site. Ooh, again, this reminds me of the guy that went on the helicopter and then that's wild. What if it was him the whole time? Proponents of remote viewing say that moment validated the entire project, even if it didn't appear in any official success report. Ooh, I wonder why. Why wouldn't you include something that you feel validated the whole project and was good for it? What? Anywho, These tales give rise to the possibility that the US government wasn't just throwing money away. They might have seen something that kept them intrigued for years. Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, right. You'd like to believe that they had some sort of successes, or as seen in these examples, times where they were like, okay, wait, what we're doing is working. There are people with psychic abilities and they are helping us figure something out. So let's keep throwing money at it. Theory number 2, psychological warfare or misdirection. Some skeptics argue that Stargate was little more than a ruse, a way to mislead adversaries into thinking the US had made strides in mental warfare. For this theory, the US could have just Uno reversed the Soviets. Ooh, after hearing that the Soviets were dabbling in psychic powers, the US intelligence community might have planted stories of astounding successes just to sow confusion. Okay, yeah. I feel like that makes more sense. Or I feel like the two make sense together. Like, yes, they had some astounding successes, but were those successes, did they yield any results that actually were helpful? Maybe not, but at the very least they were able to say like, oh yeah, look, like we're getting somewhere with this. And then, make the Soviets freak out that the US actually had something of importance when really they didn't. If the Kremlin believed, if the Kremlin believed American psychics were real, they'd waste time and resources on their own psychic arms race, or at least be unsure of whether America had an edge they couldn't match. In that sense, the project's very existence, whether it worked or not, could serve as psychological warfare. But then I thought America did it because they heard rumblings or whisperings that the Soviets were doing it first. But then even if that wasn't the case, then the Soviets would have found out that America was dabbling in it, so then they just want them to like waste their time and money. Okay, again, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep bringing this up, but back to Stranger Things. Wasn't 11, no, I thought she was Russian, but I don't know if she was actually. She just like talked like a caveman, now that I think about it, when she was like learning how to speak. Okay, never mind. Also, by creating a buzz around psychic espionage, they could hide more conventional intelligence gathering methods behind a thick cloud of paranormal hype. Okay, yeah, that's literally what the government is best known for, is just to like be like, look over here, this distraction, while we do other things that we don't want you to like actually know about. So yeah, I could definitely see this like gaining a lot of hype, or them wanting it to gain more hype so that the Soviets are like, wait, are they using psychological warfare? Because how do you even stop that? How do you stop people from remote viewing? You know what I mean? Like that's, unless you come up with then your own remote viewing. I don't know. I wonder if psychics are even real, or like mind control is real, because like Matilda, I want her to be real. Okay. She had all of our backs. She had all of our best interests at heart. Okay. If you love spy capers, what are spy capers? Aren't capers like a food? Like olives? Nope, I don't know. If you love spy capers, this theory offers a delicious cocktail. Oh, see, now I'm wondering, is this a food pun? This theory offers a delicious cocktail of mind games and red herrings. Did the US actually care about remote viewing, or was the entire enterprise an elaborate smokescreen? Ooh, okay. Theory number 3, viewing beyond Earth. Ooh, aliens. Finally, we're looking beyond just our planet and theorizing whether Project Stargate got its name for a specific reason. Some speculate that Stargate wasn't just about spying on earthly targets. It was about reaching out to non-human intelligence. Oh, one of the most well-known figures in the Stargate project, Ingo Swann, claimed to have used remote viewing to see structures and activity on the moon. Okay, the fact that they said moon is like, why on Earth would aliens hang out on the moon of all planets? There's so many cool planets and galaxies to like chill out at. Why the hell would they set up base on the moon? What's on the moon? Nothing. A flag. Like, in his book, Penetration, what a title. Penetration, the question of extraterrestrial and human telepathy. Swann describes an experiment where he allegedly viewed alien bases on the far side of the moon, complete with humanoid figures and advanced technologies. Swann even claimed that these beings became aware they were being watched. Ooh. See, but like, don't we have like little robots and droids on the moon now? So I wonder if that was like early versions of that maybe that he saw. But he was able to telepathically see it? Again, do you choose where to telepathically like teleport to? I don't know. Like, did he choose the moon? Did he know? Did he think there were people on the moon? Was it confirmation bias? I don't know. I have questions. Some conspiracy theorists claim that remote viewers may have been assigned to track UFO activity, locate underground alien bases, or even psychically engage hostile entities. This idea tears into broader theories about secret space programs and government knowledge of extraterrestrials. Ooh, yeah. I feel like right around that time was when people were like, saying, UFO sightings were all over. And I feel like I could see the US being like, oh, if there are aliens, we'd rather them on our side than the sides of the Soviets. But like, if you think about it, if you're an alien and an American, I thought you were American. An American came up to you and was like, yo, you want to help us in like Cold War, which like is this like battle of ideologies between us and the Russians. They'd be like, what? And they'd be like, or, however aliens sound. That's how they sound. They sound like Animal Crossing characters in my head. But they'd be like, dog, I'm not going to help. Why would I get involved in your petty freaking little contest that you're having? Like this doesn't seem like a place for us to get involved. You know what I mean? We'd rather just like observe from far away and make fun of you because you make the best intergalactic cable series the rest of the world has ever seen. That's why they were there. They were actually filming reality TV shows about the crazy goings on of the Earthlings. As we mentioned, the Cold War was a race for technological dominance. If the US believed that extraterrestrials possessed advanced technology, they would have had strong motivation to study, reverse engineer, or even establish communication with alien intelligence to gain a military or scientific edge over the Soviet Union. See, then that gets into the whole idea of like, oh, they captured like an alien life force and then like reverse engineered or whatever, trying to study whatever. But like, if their technology was good enough to want to even reverse engineer in the first place, what makes you think that you could even capture them and not have them retaliate against you in like the worst way possible with their super highly technologically advanced stuff? Like, what? I feel like that's just not a good idea. But I think it does go hand in hand with the fact that like right around that time, so many people were like, aliens are real. And then the whole thing where the government came out and like said aliens are real and that they're from the ocean and blah, 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 blah. That's for another episode. And if that was the case, who's to say that stopped? Oh, still going on to this day? Again, I really just don't think that we could even pin down an alien. Like, I feel like if I were an alien, I would have set up a holographic version of myself on the moon. Okay, to even choose the moon in the first place. But like, that, you know what I mean? So that if anyone tries to capture me, it's like not me. It's they were remote viewing. They were the first ones to remote view. Boom, solved. I solved Stargate. You're welcome. Woman in STEM, one woman in STEM right here. The truth. Ooh, a third category. Or our take, what we think is the truth. So, how do we make sense of these stories? Official reports hint at inconsistent results. Some participants of the program performed impressively on occasion, while others didn't. While the program did run for years under various code names, by the mid-1990s, the CIA publicly stated the results weren't reliable enough to justify continued funding. But being called not reliable doesn't settle every question. Governments often keep quiet about their most unusual pursuits, and anecdotes persist that the real breakthroughs went deeper than what was publicly disclosed. The fact that it was even publicly disclosed, like, is shocking to me. But I guess, like, they needed to, tell people, like, oh, don't worry, we are definitely, like, trying to stay ahead of the Soviets, and here's how we're doing it. This seems very theatrical. This is theater. This is theater. Whether these accounts are valid or fueled by a cultural fascination with the unknown remains unknown. Ooh. So, does the Stargate project represent a fleeting glimpse of humanity's hidden mental potential, or was it an extensive wild ride into the realm of fantasy? That's for each of us to decide. Ooh, okay, so our truth is whatever you think it happened. Stay curious, keep your eyes and your mind open, because if history teaches us one thing, it's that reality can be just as enthralling as fiction. True. I feel like the amount of times that, like, literally, if you went to yourself 10 years ago and was like, yo, this is what's happening now, you'd be like, no. If you went back to 2015 and told, I don't know. Okay, overall. So I feel like my overall thoughts, at least, are that they tried it. They got some results that weren't really that helpful for anything, but then they like blew it out of proportion to be like, yeah, oh my God, look at us. Like, we are definitely training like mind espionage agents to, infiltrate Russian bases, and then just to like provide a cover for the actual CIA to go in and gather intelligence, or like for spies to actually do their spy stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like spies makes more sense. Really can't shake the parallels between Stranger Things and the Stargate project. I swear, I wonder if Stranger Things was somewhat, at least, inspired by the Stargate project. I gotta look into that. Cool. So the Pokepick for this week's episode. Ruben wrote, if I had to assign a Pokemon to symbolize the Stargate project, I'd pick Gardevoir. Gardevoir. Ooh, I just realized it kind of sounds like God of War. Gardevoir. Or is it Guard of War? I feel like it sounds French to me. Gardevoir. Elegant, psychic, and always hinting that there's more to the mind than meets the eye. Oh yeah, isn't she psychic and fairy? I like that. Or maybe Clefairy. Oh, we've never had two Pokepick. What? Or maybe Clefairy. They have a long-standing association with the moon and extraterrestrial phenomena in Pokemon lore. True. Maybe it was this Pokemon that Ingo Swan viewed on the moon. Stop. I've never had two different options. Ooh, I don't know. Okay, I feel like I'm going to pick Gardevoir just because she's psychic. I don't think Clefairy is psychic, right? Isn't she just a fairy type? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the Discord. We have a channel called Pokepics, so we need to engage and talk about what you think, or if you have a Pokepic that you think would have made more sense for this. But I like Gardevoir. Gardevoir. That's my pick. And remember, we have an email, phenomena.cases@gmail.com. Please write in with your stories after each season, which is 10 episodes long. We're going to do a phenomena episode where I'm just going to read some of your guys' personal experiences with phenomena. And that's going to be super fun because I want to know what you've experienced. But yeah, if you have a story or theory about unusual government programs, oh yeah, give me more government programs. I want to know secret experiments or anything that made you question the limits of reality. Definitely email us at phenomena.cases@gmail.com. Also, again, we've launched a Patreon, which we have now connected a Discord server to. Yay! So if you join the Patreon, you could even join for free. There's a free tier. And then there's just the $5 a month, we love and support you tier, so that if you feel like you can spare $5 a month to help the channel, and you like the content that you are seeing, then it would help us a lot. Also, we've reached 200 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! We're moving on up. But yeah, definitely join the Patreon, even if it's for free. I'll still post my favorite gifts on there. And I think I'm going to start posting the Pokepics on the Patreon instead of the YouTube community page, because I don't know if anyone even sees the community page on YouTube, to be honest. Also, we posted a reason for why we didn't have an episode last week on there. But again, I don't know if anyone saw it. So that's another reason that you guys should join the Patreon, so that you can, I made a post on the Patreon and I pinned it with the Discord link so that you can go on the Discord, and we'll have an announcements channel on there too, so that you'll actually know, if for whatever reason we need to skip another week or anything, you'll know on there. And I feel like that's a more reliable means of communication. Also, I just want to have a little community where we talk about fun phenomena and theories and what we think really happened. But yeah, new episodes come out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. Please subscribe, comment, even if the comment is just yay, watched, or just comment Stargate. That would be thebomb.com. And last but not least, remember, you can always explore a rabbit hole without falling all the way down. So keep questioning, keep investigating, and never lose that sense of wonder. That last part, Ruben added, I think. So sweet. But yeah, that's our show. Thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. Bye.